Pear-Shaped and Hourglass girlies know that when it comes to trending fashion, there are some styles that just don't work for us. Thankfully today, we're here to solve that problem for you. I have rounded up the best trends that are going to look phenomenal on your figure, that are going to be easy to do with a couple of tweaks, and maybe a few that you should avoid because they're not going to be the most flattering when it comes to making your curves look as glorious as you want them to look in your everyday life. So excited to get into today's video. Let's jump in. Now I want to give two tiny disclaimers before we get into the depths of this video. Number one being, these are all of course my particular style. So this is what is trending for me and the elevated side of things. What's colorful, what's going to be a little bit more fun, a little bit more chic, a little bit more flirty, which tends to be my style. We're not going to go with a lot of neutrals. It's not going to be very muted. If you're looking for things that like spice up your wardrobe, because I feel like finding good neutrals is a little bit easier, this is the video for you. Number two, I will post all the links in the description box for pieces, but they do sell out and they do sell out kind of quickly. So if there's something down there that like disappears, the skirt that I ordered this morning that we're about to talk about, there was only a few left. So like if it's gone, shoot me a DM on Instagram and I will find another option and pop it down below for you. Now I think this is probably one of three things that I'm most excited about today, and it is metallics. And it's a little bit more niche, but I also feel like it is a lot of fun. I have seen metallics kind of play in and out over the last year. I think it really kind of amped up its level. What we were seeing as far as outfits last fall, but now it's starting to trickle down a little bit more into a few smaller spaces. So there's a British designer that I really like, Amy Lynn, and she's doing metallics like just at that next level this fall. And I feel like it's such a fun opportunity. It's not going to be the thing that you're going to see everybody wearing, but the girls that you see wearing it, they're going to rock it. And it's just going to be so much fun, whether it's metallic pants, it's like a micro skirt, you could do a top, whatever version of that like fit your vibe. I really kind of slowly found myself being drawn into the like midi skirt that you potentially see most often in the like denim side of stuff, but I did just order a gold one. I am so excited about it, and I feel like it's just going to be a fun something to style over the next few months. Number two is denim skirts, and this is one of those that with trending stuff, we've all seen Devil Wears Prada. We know it starts at the high end and then it's going to slowly kind of trickle down into more accessible spaces, into more budget friendly spaces, into other options that kind of give us the fun and the things that we really love about the high end fashion, and then giving it at the price range that makes it a little bit more easy for you to put it in your closet. That being said, my favorite denim pieces so far have really lived in the high end space, and there's only been a few that I've seen kind of at the lower end that have given me that same like, I want it to look like art. Like you could have that like casual denim skirt that like we all remember being really bulky and really heavy and really long, and I'm a short gal, so I don't tend to do a lot of just really heavy pieces at the bottom, and this is definitely one that like you have to get it particularly centered to make your waist look good, because you don't have the like leg separation to really define the legs, to define the hips, so you've got a lot of fabric hanging down below. So I've seen some like Victoria Beckham and Balmain have done amazing versions, but on the lower end, Mango has some. There's some great ones that are popping up on ASOS, as well as Abercrombie is starting to filter in a few pieces. So I'll keep an eye on this for us, just because I'm really loving some of the more artistic, like really just creatively designed denim on the higher end, and I'm hoping that that like filtrates down towards us a little bit more, but it is something to get excited about for fall. Now, blazers are always a thing. I think the thing that changes with blazers in every season is the style blazer, the shoulder of the blazer, like how tight it's fitted, how like loose it's fitted. And honestly, from all of the runway shows over the last year, there's really a lot of versatility in this. So you can kind of play it up a little bit more. We know I love a granddad blazer. I'm a sucker for that big oversized one, but they can be really, really long to a point where like it just becomes too much for an outfit, or it's its own outfit. So I will link a few of my favorite ones in the description box below. The one thing that I'm still looking for in this specific category is the color scheme that I like. I've seen a lot of really pretty mustard on the runway. I've seen a lot of like really pretty reds. Like red is the color of the season, and those haven't filtered in the way that I want them to, but you can find some like really gorgeous browns, some really like staple ones if that's what you're in the market for. And you can also like shop your dad's closet. The white blazer that I have that normally lives over here was stolen from my stepdad's closet. It's a true granddad blazer. So that's an easy one to kind of filter in depending on your vibe. I have seen some really pretty velvet ones, and as far as in stores, I've seen those a little bit more readily in like smaller boutiques. So that might be something local where you can support small and get your hands on that. But blazers are always going to be a thing. It just really depends on if you like them, the time of the year that you're wearing them, like the material that you want for them. So this is one of those things that it's worth it to invest in something that you really like, because you kind of just get the option of wearing it whenever it fits for you. But I do feel like more than anything, we're seeing a lot of like structured shoulders going on. So I love an unstructured blazer. I feel like there is a time and a place for that, but there is a lot more of like the structured blazers. These are bringing back that like shoulder pad vibe of the leather clothing, leather blazers, leather dresses, leather pants. Those are all a vibe, and they're in different shades. I've seen them a lot more in the darker shades. Abercrombie's a great selection for the curvy girls. I have seen a handful of leather dresses that I really like. This is a space that can be really unique. I think Alice and Olivia has quite the selection of them that really have their own personality, that aren't as like streamlined. I love a leather dress. I think I rented one a couple of years back from Run the Runway, and it was such a fun thing to wear for fall. Again, it's really hot here. This is still like, it's 84 degrees in my bedroom right now as I'm filming this. It is so warm here, so leather's a little bit away, but I do feel like it's kind of expanded over the last few years. So if there's a particular style that you like, the straight leg jeans, or I wouldn't say flare because flare is not for the pear-shaped girls, but there's quite a few leather pieces available. I really fell in love with the leather leggings from Abercrombie last year. I think they have a few variations of that, but like leather in general, depending on your comfort zone or maybe where you feel like that gap fits in your wardrobe, is phenomenal. I definitely want to add like a leather blazer and probably a leather mini skirt into my collection this year. I'm still loving and wearing my leather shorts from last year, and those are really good transitional pieces because when it's kind of doing that between the weather bits, you can add like a pair of tights and a cute pair of boots, and you're not like sucked into all of the heat of like actual leather leggings. And they're really flexible. They're also really stretchy and really comfortable, and it also makes for a really good travel outfit because it doesn't wrinkle. Now on the high end side of things that I'm really waiting to trickle down into the like more budget branding range is animal prints. This is becoming a thing that's like popping up, and each brand is getting their own like definitive whether or not we're doing a more zebra style animal print. Valentino has nailed and has the most beautiful leopard print. It's only in a few pieces that I've seen so far, and there's like an almost ombre looking skirt, and it is phenomenal. And if you search right now for the like leopard print, you could see a lot of variations of it, but it's not done so elegantly. So that's one that like to keep your eye out for. I will keep adding links as I find them. I'll also share things on stories. I think I'm gonna start doing, you know, popping them in stories for you throughout the week, and then maybe we'll do like a monthly blog post roundup so you don't actually miss anything. But if you catch it, then maybe you can snag it when it's on hand. But like, I'm so obsessed. Now let's talk about the denim side of things, because wide leg denim and flared leg, but we don't really do a flared leg. Wide leg denim is becoming more of a thing. I think that it's challenging to find a good wide leg that still snaps you in at the waist and that just doesn't look like fabric pulling on the end of you, and that's a little bit of trial and error. I've said it before, flared leg is not for the pear-shaped girlies, because what happens is the way that our bodies are designed, because we're a bit curvier at the bottom, it doesn't, like, we're still holding a bit in the center where it would go in, so we don't really get the flare out. Like, it just doesn't quite work, and sometimes the flare can be too wide at the bottom, and it just like, it looks really, really heavy fabric wise. I don't tend to reach for that reason, because I just feel like I want everything to look a little bit more tailored, a little bit more snatched, and the way that it ends up pulling on my body is it's just really fabric heavy on the bottom, and it's not balancing with my hips the way that I wanted to. So flared leg's not a vibe. Wide leg, straight leg, kind of. I definitely feel like we've majorly stepped away from skinny jeans, although I think I'm gonna put those back in my wardrobe because I just want them. Because fashion is really all about what makes you happy. But there are some good wide leg options if you can find a wide leg that like suits you. Some wide legs are really heavy. Again, I will link some of my favorites in the description box below. Now, the color of the season is red. Very, very, very much red in the most beautiful way possible. And this was a very heavily featured color in Stella McCartney's collection last year. And it's just, I say last year, in spring of 2023, but I haven't seen it to the full extent that I want to see it. I am starting to see it in some pieces. Mango's got quite a few like red dresses and red skirts and red pleated skirts and maxi skirts and things that I feel like are really gonna nail that for us. I would love to find like a gorgeous red blazer. There's some pieces in that category, and I'm talking about like a nice like bright red. Like, she is beautiful. I do love the staple of this. I do love the like classic pieces that come from this. This just gives something that Princess Diana would wear. Honestly, this model gives Princess Diana energy, but it's just such a fun color. I really feel like that's the one that you're gonna see this year. We've seen a lot of hot pink. That was the moment. Now we're gonna see a lot of the like, it's not hot red, but like that vibrant red, just not like a blood red. It's like a bright red and it is so good. Now again, defined shoulders are a thing, but like in things that are not just blazers, I've seen a lot of shirts, I've seen a lot of like blouses and things that have the defined shoulder, and I honestly love them. I think that they are one of the best things that you can wear as a pear-shaped girl, because what happens is you're really giving extra attention to making your waist look smaller, because by definition as a pear-shaped girl, our like center here is a little bit more narrow than our hips, which is why we are pear-shaped versus being hourglass. I had to Google this the other day. So because of that, we kind of want to be able to balance out the hip. Sometimes I love that it makes it a little bit more even, but when you make it a little more even, we really get to like snatch in the waist a little bit more, and defined shoulders do us major favors in that capacity. It's also a really great way to kind of throw something over. So in a blazer capacity, you could throw it over whatever your look is and really snatch in your waist, in something like straight leg jeans where you're still losing a little bit of that like snatch and curve of your hips that you are probably getting with like skinny jeans or other stuff. But I really love that just a defined shoulder tailors in the waist a little bit more and really helps you kind of add more like cut to your natural like curves and hourglass-ish figure. Knitwear is pretty much a standard across the board. I think we're seeing a lot more of your classic like sweaters, not necessarily turtlenecks, not necessarily like button-up cardigans, long cardigans, like oversized cardigans. That tends to be less. It's a lot more of your like classic sweaters, maybe the occasional thin turtleneck with like, you know, a chunkier like jacket, or like your normal jacket with like the belted side of things, and the like classic Loeb, I'm saying that wrong and my brain's not there, but you know what I'm talking about, the sweater that everybody's been wearing for the last few years. We're kind of more into that side of stuff. So knitwear is always there. It's just less about certain spaces and more about others, and we're less about the cardigans and the button-ups and the like really chunky stuff, and more about kind of the more basic like chic everyday, a little bit more casual and probably a little bit less heavy. Shoe wise, there are a few things that are happening. Ballet flats started last year. We're seeing a lot more options of that. I feel like the Miu Miu is the like it girl ballet flat, and I honestly, they're on my wish list for this year. They are so cute. If you don't follow Shop Fancy Drew on Instagram, they are phenomenal at finding all of the deals. I will link their account below. But we're also seeing like the knee-high boots again. We're seeing higher boots. We haven't gone back to the like lower booty, angle booty kind of vibes. We're still really sticking with the like taller boot, which I love. I found a few that feel like they cater to, I'm gonna say the mid-calf size, because I think that I have what's probably in the mid-calf range, and I know a lot of girls probably have a 14-inch, 15-inch, 16-inch calf, and I think that that's probably mid-range and is still unnecessarily hard to find, but the level above that I'm still looking for. So if you have recommendations, leave them in the comments below for it. There's a few that I found that I feel like are going to be really good, but we're definitely seeing that like knee-high boot and then ballet flats, not necessarily the mid-calf boot. Platforms are still floating around, but not in the same capacity as they were. I've seen some like platform boots, so if that's your vibe, really we're looking at ballet flats. And then lastly, I'm starting to see pearls creep in a little bit more, and maybe it's just because I'm really excited about pearls right now, but it's starting to be a thing that like I'm seeing in little spurts in different places. So, and that's on clothes as well as just like in general in like outfits and fashion. There's tons of ways to afford pearls more affordably. I will link some of my favorites. I have a whole set of like Amazon jewelry that you guys see me wear constantly, and I love them because there's tons of options and tons of fun ways to incorporate pearls and just add a little bit of joy into your everyday wardrobe with like keeping it on the low in the budget range. Now, on the list of things that I've seen, love, and have not found the perfect version of, cargo pants. I've seen cargo pants a ton. I've seen the like cool girl version of the cargo pants. I've tried some of the more distressed denim and it just doesn't feel like me. I think my like flirty fun chic, there's still a little preppy in there. I'm not a little bit more grunge, and some of the washes just don't work for me. But I am on the hunt for some satin cargo pants because I do feel like that would be the best vibe for me. So I'm leaving that as a yes, this is the thing. Yes, we are going to continue to explore it, but I'm still looking at like the best version, and I just haven't pulled the trigger on anything yet. And then the things that we're seeing less of this year, leggings. A lot less of them. I used to be real hardcore on the Spanx leggings. Those are still a good option for travel because they're just compression and they're comfortable, and like that is a vibe, but it's less of like an everyday wear. We're definitely seeing a bit more of a wider frame as far as the pants go. Obviously with the skirts, we're getting back to that like more outer fabric kind of situation and not necessarily cutting out the curves, which means we get to be a little bit more creative and making sure that our curves are still seen and we're not going back to that like 90s chic that none of us enjoyed. So we are seeing less of the leggings in that capacity, and then denim is kind of having its own thing. I think it's always the joy to find the pieces that work best for your body, but less of the skinny jeans, a little bit less of the straight legs, a lot more of the wide leg jeans, and the mom jeans just kind of float around. All right guys, that is all I have for you guys today. Now I know that I haven't like deep dived into accessories yet. I will do that. There's part of me that wants to like look at headbands. I know that there are certain like rope belts, there's certain specific accessories that I think are kind of going to be those pieces for this year that really would play into like, you know, your jackets, your dresses, all of your defining things that like step everything up a level. So I will dig into that and either do another video, blog post, or like maybe like a short carousel on Instagram so you guys have that as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So again, everything will be linked in the description box below, but if anything like goes out of stock, like if you go to click a link and it's not going anywhere, it probably means that the brand like pulled it, or they like reissued a number, or they did something to where like I need to change it for you, or I need to find you another option. So just shoot me a DM and let me know. But let me know what your favorite piece is, what you're the most excited about wearing for fall. Subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. I upload new videos every week, and I will see you all again in next week's video. I love you. It is a good day to have a good day. Bye guys.